like button, also called as EVV and flood drain to the trite or similar movement of the water. So there are the definitely their question, their right answer is there are the none of the above is the correct answer. Option 4 is the correct answer. Must will comment, and sometime there problem due to internets, but at present now and clear at present now. Next question, another question for you. Which place is India? Which place in India has the potential for generation to tidal energy? Very interesting question. Which place in India has the potential for generation of tidal energy? Basically, the Gulf of Cambay, Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Mannar, and those the correct code. There are 1 and 2, and 2 and 3, 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3. Very interesting question for you. Now I explain this question. Basically, tidal energy and development. There, India has a long coastal line with the estuarine and Gulf, where tides are strong enough for the move the tide for electrical power generation. The Gulf of Cambay and the Gulf of Kutch, Gujarat on the west coast, tidal range of 11 meter and 8 meter with an average tidal range of 8.77 meter and approx 5.5 meter respectively. The Ganga Delta in the Sundarban is approximately 5 meter with the average tidal range of 2.79 meter also. So must will comment what is the answer proper, and I explain every question I explain, and must will write your comments and proper answer. And today's session is very important for UPSC NET geography. I explain there are the very interesting question and statement also explain, and definitely their question number 2 is answer is 1 and 2 is the correct. Next, another question, there are the very interesting question for you. Another question number 3. When you will answer, must you will mention the question number and answer key. When you will type, there is a question and question option. Must will type the question number and answer. And now here Sabuddin also all welcome to my channel. Sabuddin, occurs 2 is a month on the full moon and period, and another during new moon period, so definitely their question answer is the 2 and 3 is the correct answer. 2 and 3 is the correct answer. Next, another question for you, for very interesting question. It is question number 4. Who is of the following name of the position, basically position moon, sun and earth are correctly matched? A very interesting question. Who is of the following name of the position moon, sun and the earth and correctly match? Perihelion, and when the earth is close to the sun, and perigee when the moon orbit is close to the earth, and apogee basically when the earth is furthest from the sun. Who is of the above statement is true? Very interesting question for you. This is another must will read carefully. Perihelion when the earth is closest to the sun, and perigee basically when the moon's orbit closest to the earth, and apogee when the earth is farthest from the sun. Who is of the above statement is true? There are 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, and 1, 2, 3. Very interesting. But I explain also, every question I explain, must carefully listen and must carefully watching my video in this session. Very important for NET set and UPSC. And basically apogee and perigee refer to distance from earth to the moon, and apogee is the farthest point from the earth, and perigee is the closest point to the earth, and it is in this stage that moon appears large, and looking at the moon in the sky and without any, and size difference, but the significant. And the perihelion is the point in the orbit of celestial body, and where it is near to it is orbital focus and generally a star, and it is the opposite of aphelion, and which is point of the orbit and where the celestial body is farther from the focus. So definitely this answer is the correct answer. Option 2 is the correct answer. Option 2 is the correct answer. Now there are another question for question number 5. You see question number 5, basically consider the following statement regarding the nap tide and spring tides. Very important. Consider the following statement regarding the nap tide and spring tide. There is an 7-day interval between the spring tide and nap tides. Option 2, a statement that during the nap tide the sun and moon are the right angle to each other, and which of the above statement is is very important for UPSC and NET exam. When you will face their NET exam, definitely this type of question, 10%, 20% question every year. There are these statement type of question. Oceanography is very important for UPSC also, the same type of question pattern. So must carefully learn it and must carefully study it and practice. Must will practice in this session. Basically, you know, the normally there is a 7-day interval between the spring tide and nap tide also, and during nap tide the sun and moon are at right angle to each other, and the force of the sun and moon tend of the contract one another. The moon attraction and through the more than 2 is as strong as the sun dimensions by the counteracting force of the sun gravitational pull also. So definitely there are the correct answer is option 2. Option 2 is the correct answer. You know, option 2 is the correct answer. And next, another very important question for you. Question number 6 is very important. There are the height of rising water varies depending upon the position of and welcome to all once again. This session today's oceanography is very important for all, and sometime there internet problem, and sometime must will refresh your mobile, and some technical problem and starting time. Sorry to all. And now this question number 6 is very important. Once in a month, and when the moon's orbit is closest to the earth, Pharisee, basically unusually high and low tides occur, and during this time the tidal range is greater than normal, and 2 weeks later, and when the moon is further from earth apogee, the moon gravitational force is limited and the tidal range are less than their average height basically. So when the earth is closest to the sun and around 3rd January is year, and tidal range also there are the much greater than with the unusually high and unusually low tides. And when the earth is farther from the sun around 4th July is year, their tidal range are much less than average. Very interesting question. And so definitely this questioner answer is when the moon orbit is closest to the earth and unusually high and low tides occur is the correct answer. Next, another question for you. There are the question number 7. Question number 7 is very important for you. Basically consider the following statements. Ocean water in equator is the higher level than the middle latitude. There are the statement. Next, their movement of water body is affected by friction between wind and water surface. Select the correct answer from the following quotes. Only 1, 2, both 1 and 2, and neither 1 and 2. Very interesting. You know, this type of question, and must you will comment my audio is clear and video is clear. And now this is the this question number 7. basically I explained the heating by solar energy cause the water to explain that is why near the equator to the ocean water is about 8 centimeter height higher than the level than in middle latitude, and friction between the wind and the water surface affect the movement of the water body in these occurs, and gravity tend to pull the water down to pull the create and gradation variation. The Coriolis force and intervenes and cause the water to move to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left than southern hemisphere. So definitely their answer is both 1 and 2 is the correct. Both 1 and 2 is the correct. Next, another question for you. Consider the folder. The ocean constitute the surface water, and 1 and 2. Very interesting question number 8. Basically, you know the surface current constitute about 10% of the all water in the ocean. These water are upper 400 meter ocean, and deep water currents make the other 90% of the water warm water into cold water area, and are usually observed on the east coast of the continents in the low and middle latitudes, and in the northern hemisphere, and there around on the west coast and continents in the high latitude. So definitely this is a very interesting question. So definitely their answer is option 2 only. Option 2 is the correct answer. Next, another question for you. The major ocean currents are influenced by which of the following factors? Very interesting question for you. Who is of the who is of the following major ocean current are influenced by the which of the following factors are prevailing winds, Coriolis force, distribution, and select the correct answer 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3. Very interesting question. Must number 9 I explained. Main ocean current are greatly influenced by the stress exerted by prevailing winds and Coriolis force. The oceanic currents circulation pattern roughly correspondent to the Earth atmospheric circulation pattern also. So there are the definitely their answer is option 1 and 2 is the correct answer. Option 1 and 2 is the correct answer. Next, another question for you for very interesting question. Consider the following statement. Oceanic circulation pattern follow the cyclonic and anticyclonic air circulation pattern. There are the next the air circulation over the ocean in the middle latitude in main cyclonic. The correct answer from following the quote only 1, only 2, and both 1 and 2, and there are neither 1, and there are very interesting question for you. The oceanic circulation pattern follow the cyclonic and anticyclonic air circulation pattern. Basically, I explained this question. The air circulation over the ocean in the middle latitude in the mainly anticyclone and more pronounced in the southern hemisphere than in the northern hemisphere. The oceanic circulation pattern also correspondent with the same and at the higher latitude when the wind flow is mostly cyclonic, and the oceanic circulation flow this pattern, and in region of pronounced their monsoon flow, the monsoon winds influence the current basically movements. So definitely their answer is the only 1 is the correct answer. Only 1 is the correct answer. Next, another question for you. There are the question. Which of the following is the characteristics of ocean currents? Very interesting question. Question number 11. Which of the following is are characteristics of ocean currents? Very interesting question. There are their statement the current are slow at surface compared to depth. A current is usually strongest at the surface and decrease in the extent with depth, and speed of current is referred to as depth. So here are the only 1 and only 2 and only 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 their option. I will explain every question. If you are new, you will subscribe my channel, and there are the different live session class and very interesting question for UPSC and NTA NET. I also explain this question. We refer to the speed of current as a drift, and drift is measured in term of knots basically in the strength, and most current have speed less than or the internet connection. And question number 12 I explain the ocean water is dynamic. It is physical characteristics like the temperature and salinity and density and the external force like of the sun, the moon and wind influence and the movement of ocean water. The horizontal and vertical motion are common in the ocean water bodies, and the horizontal motion referred to the ocean currents and wave. So the vertical motion referred to tides. So definitely there are the all above the is the correct statement. And there are the next question, very interesting, the wave size and shape. Basically wave size and shape river to the following correlation in this regard. The slow and steady wave are fairly young. One of are probably the formed by local winds, and steep wave originate from the fairway place and possible from another hemisphere. And which of the above statement is true? Very interesting. There are the the question number 13 I explain. Basically a wave size and shape reveal it is origin, and steep wave are fairly young, one on probably formed by local winds, and slow and steady wave originate from fairway place possible from the another hemisphere. The maximum wave height is determined by the strength of the wind and how long it is blow, and the sea over which it blow in the single direction. And the wave travel because the wind pulls and the water body in it is the course of the gravity and pulls in the crest and the wave downward, and the foul water pulls the former shaft the upward, and the wave move to a new must you will see and carefully read also some difficulty at present now. Internet is not much more high speed. Identify the correct statement among the wind. The statement wind movement are caused by uneven heating of the air on the earth. The movement of the air from land to sea is called sea breeze, and when the air move from sea to land it is called the land breeze, and when air move from low pressure to high pressure it is called winds. So I explain every question. Basically question number 15, their wind movements are caused by uneven heating, basically uneven heating of air on the earth. So definitely there are the answer is one option, the wind movement are caused by uneven heating of the air on the earth. So definitely their option 1 is the correct answer. Next question for you, question number 16. Air pressure, the energy of the ocean waves, the energy of the winds, and the sun energy. And definitely it is the sun warm the surface water in the horizontal and zone near the earth and equator. The change in temperature cause the movement of air, and this cause a pressure change, and so tropical cyclone take place. So definitely there are the answer is the option 4 is the correct answer. The sun energy is the correct answer. Next another question, question number 17. Choose the correct statement from the following. There are the high speed winds are accompanied by the reduced air pressure. High speed wind are accompanied by increased air pressure. Change in the pressure does not affect the wind velocity, and humidity can change the velocity and direction of wind. Very interesting. Must carefully read this question more and more. When you will face their UPSC and NTA NET, must you will carefully read the question. Which of the correct statement from the following? Their high speed wind are accompanied by the reduced air pressure. And I explained this question number 17. Basically, the reduced pressure condition cause the flow of air from high pressure region to low pressure region, you know. So definitely there are the question answer is the one, high speed wind are accompanied by reduced air pressure. Okay, am I clear? And next important question for you, question number 18. In which of the following area does the climate remain almost the same throughout the year? Very interesting question. There are the desert area, there the coastal area, there the mountain area, all the above. In which the following area does the climate remain almost the same throughout the year? So definitely I explained already every question. Basically in this question, in the coastal area during night and hot air above the sea rise and cool air from the land go and towards the sea to take, it is coastal area and the air. So definitely there are the answer is 2, the coastal area is the correct answer. So next another question for you, question number 19. The annual flood peak in the India are recorded in the month of. Very interesting question. You see, must will carefully listen in this question. The annual flood peak in the Indian are recorded in month of June, July, August, July, September, and August, September. Very interesting question. Now explain there at the question number 19. Flood can occur during the any part of monsoon season, but typically during the month of August and September, and flood fixture record and on the large river and range between the 60,000 and 80,000 basically. So there are the definitely their question answer is the August, September is the correct answer. Now next another question for you. There are the very interesting question. To measure flood variability is used widely. There are the FFMI, FI and FMI and FFI. Very interesting question. Basically I explain this question. FFMI stand for Flash Flood Management Index. You know, the FFMI stand for Flash Flood Management Index. It is the standard deviation of logarithmic, basically to base of 10 of annual maximum series. So definitely there the answer is on FFMI flood FFMI. There the flash flood magnitude index. Okay, there next another question for you. Disaster management deal with situation that occurs after the disaster. It is the true and false. Very interesting question. Disaster management deal with situation that occur after the disaster. It is true and false. Very interesting question. I explained that question number 21. Management is a broad term and it is deal with the situation prior to during the occurrence of the disaster. So definitely there are the false is the correct answer. Next another question for you, question number 22. Which of the following is an example of the slow onset disaster? Very interesting question. Which of the below is an example of slow onset disaster? There are the earthquake and tsunami and cyclone and drought. Very interesting. Which of the below is example of slow onset disaster? Question number 22. Basically disaster can also be classified as rapid onset and slow onset. It is based on how long they last, and rapid long and so definitely the answer is also dot is the correct answer. You know, dot is the correct answer. Next another question for you. There are the tsunami detector. Basically very interesting. There are the tsunami detector are placed in set at kilometer from the shore. Tsunami detector, there are the 25 and 100 kilometers and 50 and 85. The coastal tidal gauge can detect the tsunami closer to shore, and it is placed at 50 kilometers in the sea from shore, and they are linked to land by submarine cable and giving warning in the time. So definitely there are the 50 is the correct answer. 50 is the correct answer. Next, another question number 24. Basically, Durga Dani Sundarban is very interesting power plant in the Sundarban. It is a crack, and who is connect to the there are the Vidyadhari and Gomdi river, and first river UNSU Tiger Reservoir, and both 1 and 2. It is very important. So I explained, with a generation capacity of 3.6 basically megawatt, the project will comprise two barrage built across the upstream and downstream end of the Durga Dani crack, and who is run between the island of Goshaba and Bali and Vijayanagar, and connect in the Vidyadhari and Gomti river. So definitely this is the answer is the both A and B is the correct answer. A and B. Next, and through the sea temperature decrease with the increasing depth, yet in the rate of decrease of temperature is not uniform. Number 3, the change in the sea temperature below the depth of 2000 meter is the negligible, and diurnal and annual range in the temperature caused after the depth of the 5 fathom and 100 fathom respectively. So there are the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 4 and all above. Very interesting question. I explained this question on the basis of identity. Basically the ocean is divided into 3 zones, basically surface and thermocline and the deep zone, and maximum temperature of the ocean and is at their surface because it is directly receive the insolation. Through the sea temperature decrease with the increase the depth, yet to rate of decrease of the temperature is not uniform. So definitely there is the correct answer. All of the above is the correct. Evaporation and mouth of river above the give the total quantity of dissolved the inorganic solids in the water, its salinity, while the precipitation is inversely related to the salinity. So definitely their answer is option 4. 1, 2 and 4 is the correct answer. Next, another question number 27. Consider the following statement, their line of equal pressure, and I reply your comment also. And there the line of equal pressure on a map are known as isobar. Widely spread isobar indicate a high pressure gradient and high wind speed. The pressure gradient force act in the parallel to the isobar, and who is the statement giving ever is correct? Only 1, 1 and 3, 2 and 3 and all the above. Question number 27, force is generated by the pressure difference between 2 points. Basically isobar are line that show the equal pressure, and closely spread the isobar indicate a high pressure gradient and high wind speed, and widely spread the isobaric indicate a low pressure gradient and low wind speed. And basically their direction of the force is the pressure gradient force act and perpendicular to the isobar. So this is the answer is the only one is the correct answer, only one. And next, another question number 28. Question number 28. Question number 28 basically explain the specific humidity. A device used to measure relatively humidity is called the psychrometer. Which of the above statement is the correct? Basically, the specific humidity is a ratio of water vapor to dry air in a particular mass, and sometimes referred to continental slope and continental shelf and oceanic trench and deep sea plain. Very interesting. Basically, the four relief zone of the ocean basin to seaward gradually. Basically, I know there I explained the ocean basin are characterized by the four relief zone. The shallow submerged extension of the continent is called the continental shelf, and the continuously sloping portion of the continental margin extending down to the deep sea floor of the abyssal plain is known as the continental slope also. And deep sea plain is zone situated from continental slope and oceanic trench, and oceanic trench is the deepest zone of the ocean basin. A trench is as the shape of the depression in the deep ocean floor also. So very interesting in this question. Definitely there are the one is the correct answer. Continental shelf and continental slope and deep sea plain and the ocean trench is the correct answer. Next, another question. Consider the following statement. General outline of the Atlantic Ocean is of letter S. Basically, South Atlantic Ocean open broadly into the Atlantic Ocean. The North Atlantic Ocean open the broad into the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean narrow down toward the equator. And who is of the correct statement? Only one and two, 1, 2, 4 and 1, 3, 4. Very interesting question. I explained this question. And there are the question number 30. Question number 30 you see. Question number 30. There are the Atlantic Ocean. You know, Atlantic Ocean basically is located between the Europe as well as the Africa in the east and North America as well as South America in the west. So cover 1/6 area of the globe, and half of the area the Pacific Ocean is generally outlined in the outline is that of letter S. It is narrow towards the equator. The southern Atlantic Ocean open the broadly into the ocean water, Atlantic Ocean. So definitely there the answer is option 3. 1, 2 and 4 is the correct answer. 1, 2 and 4 is the correct answer. Next, another question for you. Very interesting question. And today's session oceanography. Another question. Consider the following statement. In the Indian Ocean, that marginal seas are lost in number than the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. There are the Mozambique Channel, Red Sea and Baltic Sea are the marginal sea of the Indian Ocean. The average depth of the Indian Ocean is 4,000 meters. And the Indian Ocean, as fourth statement, the Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean after the Pacific and Atlantic. Who is of the shape the depression in the deep ocean floor? So definitely there are the correct answer is continental shelf and continental shelf, deep sea plain, and there the ocean trench is the correct answer. Next, another question for you. Question number 34. Question number 34 basically there are the in the Indian Ocean the marginal sea are less in the number of than the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. Basically Mozambique Channel and Red Sea and Baltic Sea are the marginal sea of the Indian Ocean. And option 3 there are the statement the average depth in the Indian Ocean is 4,000 meters. The Indian Ocean is the third large ocean after the Pacific Ocean. So definitely very interesting question. I explained. Are less in number of than the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. It's significant. The marginal sea are Mozambique Channel, Red Sea and Persian Gulf and Andaman Sea. So definitely there are the Arabian Sea and in the Bengal. It is the right answer is the 3 and 4 is the correct answer. Every